I teach my students when recording that one of the most important things is finding the right musician to record. That thing that happens in the musical realm, the human element, the instruments that they choose, the room we record in, all of that matters so much in terms of getting a good sounding recording. After that, we talk about choosing the right microphone and then putting it in the right place. In one of our recent classes, I had them record a drum kit with a really good drummer in a room that I think sounds pretty good, but I gave them only 4 microphones and I told them I wanted to hear what they could do with those. Kind of a limiting thing. We listened with 1 microphone, with 2 microphones, with 3, and then with 4. All of them are Beyerdynamic microphones, which I think really help because those are some of the best microphones we have. They're well made, they've got great frequency response. Each one of these microphones we use is a little different in terms of what it does. We use the M201, the M88, the M160, and we also use one of my favorites or recent favorites, the D71, which is a boundary mic that is great for kick drum. So I said, go out there, put these microphones in the place that you think works. They did a couple things that were a little non-traditional, but I loved their choices. And they came back, and then we had a discussion about how it doesn't matter which software you use. Ableton, Pro Tools, Reaper, Logic Pro. The quality starts before it comes into the software. If there's one thing that you can do to make your recording sound better, it's to pick a really great microphone. If there's one thing you can do to make your recording sound better, pick a really good musician. All of that happens before the software. If you find that your software and the recordings you're making don't sound good, and you think, well, maybe I should switch away from Logic to something else, well, maybe you should do something else instead of switching, because all of that happens before we get in. Once it's ones and zeros and digital audio, then the tools can do their part, but you had to do the rest of your part before they come in here. Let me show you a little bit about this because I want you to understand a little bit more first about these microphones, which I think are just world class, but also some of the choices the students made. Now, the drummer is noodling a little bit while we were testing this out and recording. This all happened within a single class period, which means we didn't have a ton of time. But let me go through and play just a few of these. The first one, as you saw from that video clip, is this kick drum mic, the D71. This thing sounds awesome. And when we're using it, it is able to go right inside the kick. I don't have to take off the front head if a drummer wants to leave that on. If you don't have an air port on it, then you might still have to do that. But in this case, I got to slide it right in, and it sounded really interesting. And by interesting, I mean there's really great isolation. We didn't have a lot of bleed from the other things. It overall responded well to the kick. There's enough sound there to beef it up with an EQ and a compressor, but even as it is naturally, it sounds really good with all of the other instruments. Let me just solo this out so you can hear it though. Now, you're thinking, well, there's not a ton of low end there, but yeah, we can actually do so much with it. That's kind of like a blank slate that allows us to have access to all the parts, meaning there are some low frequencies there. If we want to boost them up, we can. We can alter it at all we want. I think it's a really good canvas for us to do something with that. But it's really isolated and just naturally sounds good. Fits in with the other things. Now the snare, they took a little different approach. They kind of aimed it at the side of the snare instead of just going for an all-in on the top or the bottom. And so that was one of the choices I thought, I'm proud of my students. They know how to mic a drum kit, but they are thinking outside the box and trying to do different things, which is kind of cool. A lot of bleed, but also still really good sounding. it'll fit in better with the other instruments. Again, enough to EQ, and it's close enough that we can trigger another snare sample off of that if we want to. But overall decent. This one is what they're calling the tom mic, but it's really aimed kind of at the ride and the floor tom. And so we had a little bit of fun with that one. And then above everything, the overhead, which is the M160 ribbon mic. All except for the kick drum mic are these hypercardioid patterns, which means you have to be careful when aiming because it is directional, rather more directional than a lot of other mics you might have used in these situations. But I think that it's really great. The interesting thing about the M160 above the kit as a ribbon microphone, we have a lot of really cool dark tones that come off of this mic. But as an overhead, we are thinking about the cymbals and the overall image of the kit as a single microphone. And I would love to have two of these to aim as a stereo pair, right? But as a single microphone, I was blown away by the depth and even the width that it felt like it was adding when this is up there. Right? And so all four of those playing their role, if we were to do some basic processing that we would normally do on a kit, we could beef up the kick a little if we want to, do what we want with the snare. The tom mic, we could I'm not going to with four mics roll off a lot of frequencies, but it's interesting the scheme that they came up with here and that they're using. Overall, if we were to use this and record it, we could get a really nice sounding drum sound for a song that we were working on. And so I think it's a successful experiment on their part, finding the places. Okay, so what is the deal here with these microphones, and why am I talking about that right now? Well, I sometimes hear that Logic could sound better, right? I think what we need to sometimes remember, especially in this world with AI everywhere and songs being created in minutes and seconds, that what we need to sometimes do is surround ourselves by the highest quality tools that we can. This M160, this is a work of art. I mean, this thing is really cool and it sounds amazing. I mean, this is something that people will use on electric guitars or pianos or drum overheads or even vocals. This thing is a workhorse that has a very unique sound as a ribbon microphone with a hypercardioid pattern, a really directional thing that not laser in, but it's really focused on what you aim it at and is not necessarily capturing the whole sound. Many ribbon microphones would be figure eight, bidirectional. So they're capturing from both sides of where the ribbon is hanging, and then you end up with a lot more of the room sound. Well, you get all of the benefits of a ribbon without necessarily having to compromise and capture tons of the room. Something like this microphone, the D71, that we can stick in places that are harder to put things in. As a boundary microphone, it gives us that benefit of really sneaking it into a piano or under a drum or inside of a kick drum. And so these tools, having the right tools, makes a big difference. And that difference can mean that you're getting a better sound with less effort, that you're actually capturing the thing that you're recording in a really nice way. But it's just, there's so much to this that is different than just using a sample bank. Logic has great instruments, great virtual instruments, has a great piano and great keys and synthesizers and everything, right? But there's something about going into a room and capturing the instrument with a microphone and then using that on your song that's different. It's different than just using a virtual instrument. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir with this. I know most of the people who watch this channel are interested in good quality things and high quality things, but um, if we start with this, with the right brush strokes, a kick that is nice, isolated, and has a full frequency response, then we can EQ it to what we want. We can make it beefier with a low boost, or we can really just tighten it up with a compressor. But it has to start in the right place. The snare drum, again, a kind of a creative installation here. The use of this microphone from the side angle was a little bit outside the box, but it still sounded like a snare and captured that. And when you put these all together with the other mic on the other side, it's almost like overheads that are just down at the drum level. And then we tie it all together with that beautiful ribbon mic above. Then you come up with this sound and you're like, okay, I can hear all those parts. If I was missing one thing from this experiment, it would be a further distant room mic, because I love the sound of drums in a room that's well treated, and that distance creates such a cool depth. And that's one of the few things we're missing with these 4 microphones. I might have put the ribbon mic 20 feet away and really captured the sound of the drums as they evolve through the room. I think that's really cool. So one way to increase the sound quality of the recordings you make in Logic Pro, get some good microphones. Doesn't have to be Beyerdynamic. I know these are some of my favorites, and I'm a huge Beyerdynamic fan, wearing their headphones too, but they make great stuff. It's precision built, it's quality, it sounds great, and it's hard to go wrong with. These tools, even the 88 and the 201 that are in the other room, they are amazing on vocals, on drums, on acoustic guitar, on so many things. And so as you're thinking about ways to improve the quality of your recordings in Logic, don't necessarily think you need the latest and greatest plugins. Sure, go ahead, spend your money on that. Don't get something that you're going to subscribe to, that you're going to put your money into as a whole, and it'll never come back to you. These microphones are things that you're going to buy once and use them your whole career, and they're going to last and work and be that investment that is something that software can't fulfill for us. I hope this was interesting. If you're interested in more, then let me know, because we can record more with these things. I'm going to be doing some more acoustic recorded music with Logic Pro and talk about some of those issues. But this is something I'm super passionate about, and I think is a way for us to improve how Logic sounds, works, functions, all of that, by integrating higher quality components before we even get into Logic. Okay, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.